But you're going to meet many in this city who may not be open, devout idolaters, but they're going to be self-righteous, and they're not going to see their need of the Savior. The Apostle Paul met this day in Athens, and this was sophisticated philosophy. Sophisticated philosophy. These are not superstitious idolaters. These are not the self-righteous Orthodox. But these are they who see themselves as intellectual giants. We're going to face those. Look in Acts chapter 17, verse 18. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans and of the Stoics encountered him. Some said, "What will this babbler say?" Others, "Some, he seemeth to be a setter forth of strange gods, because he preached unto them Jesus and the resurrection." That Athens was not only the cultural, but the intellectual center of the world at that time. And philosophers clustered to the city. Philosophy abounded. Now, what is philosophy? The word literally means a love of knowledge. Somebody said philosophy is that system that tells us what we already know in words we can't understand. Has philosophy met the need of a man's heart? Let me read to you what some noted philosophers said about philosophy. Schopenhauer, world-famous philosopher, got to the bottom line and he said this: life is a curse of endless cravings and endless unhappiness. Well, for him, philosophy was a dead-end road. Huxley, brilliant man, Julius Huxley, wrote this. It seems to me, he's looking at the human race, and he says, it seems to me that we are a cancer on the globe. That's philosophy. Bertrand Russell, arrogant, conceited, but honest enough to say philosophy proved a washout to me. H.G. Wells, have you heard that name? The noted historian and philosopher said this, and I quote, "Unless there is a more abundant scheme before mankind, this scheme of space and time is a bad joke, an empty laugh, raying across the mysteries." Our own Dr. Robert G. Lee, former pastor of this church, said, "Philosophy is a chunk of cloud bank buttered with a night wind." He knew that philosophy, the love of knowledge, can never satisfy the deepest longing of the human heart. And here's the Apostle Paul there in the great city of Athens. And he sees this idolatry. He sees this orthodoxy. He sees this philosophy. What kind of philosophy was it? Well, there was, first of all, the philosophy of pleasure. Look in Acts 17:18. Then certain philosophers of the Epicureans. Who were the Epicureans? Epicurus lived about 300 years before Christ, and he had a philosophy that said this simply, that you really can't make sense out of life. The search for reason, for pure truth by reason is impossible. You're never going to find absolute truth. And so what Epicurus said is this: enjoy yourself. This is all you have. This is all you can be sure of. And so he says the wisest thing is pleasure based on your own personal experience. And we talk today about Epicureans, lovers of pleasure. And we see this all around. What are people in our city living for? What is their philosophy? It's just a philosophy of pleasure. As a matter of fact, one said, eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you die. That's the Epicurean. Some years ago, a beer company put it in a slogan. You will remember the slogan. You only go through life once, so what? That's right. Grab all the gusto you can get. You only go through life once. Grab all the gusto you can get. That's the Epicureans.